This is my dog assistant, which uses Generative AI to answer questions based on the document I have shared with it. I asked the question, "Where can I stay in New York?" and it is generated the answer using the PDF I have provided. I have opened this PDF as well, so you can see that as dog assistant has listed hotels. And if you check the PDF, you will find the same hotel information in PDF. This dog assistant is not relying on its own knowledge, rather than it is using the PDF I provided. The same process occurs in the next question, where dog assistant generated an answer from the PDF. For this dog assistant tool development, I use the document to save on document cost and time. We will go through each step in detail one by one. After completing this tutorial, you will be able to create your own dog assistant tool easily without additional support. In the corporate world, companies have large amount of data in the form of PDF, Word, document, Excel files, and text. After going through this tutorial, you will be able to create tools like Legal Dog Assistant, Medical Query Resolver, Custom Support Assistant. We will use Microsoft infrastructure to build the Dog Assistant. We will follow these steps. It's a long list with many steps, but believe me, you will enjoy it if you follow these steps with me. Alternatively, you can understand the concept now and create it later once you have access to the subscription or once you get the trial version. Before moving forward, let me boost your morale and explain why should you use Azure infrastructure to build this type of solution. First is no need for multiple roles. To build such solution, you typically need two types of people: a data scientist and a software developer. However, with Microsoft, you can manage the entire process on your own. Second, widespread adoption. Microsoft is used by almost every company. It will increase your chances of finding new opportunity in the field of generative AI. Ease of use. Microsoft's tools are user-friendly, making it is easier to implement solutions. Fourth, clear and simple steps. The steps for building generative AI solution with Azure are easy to understand. It can be used by both beginner and expert. Let's first understand the concept through a diagram. The major component is the Azure portal, where we will create all the required resources to build our Doc Assistant endpoint. Then we will automate the endpoint using Copilot. In the final step, we will integrate our custom Copilot with both our custom website and with the demo website. First, we will create a resource group. In the resource group, we will create Azure AI Studio, which will automatically create two resources: Azure OpenAI and a storage account. If you prefer, you can create your own Azure OpenAI resource and the storage account and connect them to Azure AI Studio. Then we will create the Azure AI search service. Azure AI Studio will be core platform for building our solution. First, we will upload the document, then create a search index for the uploaded file. Next, we will deploy two models: an embedding model and an LLM model. Finally, we will test the LLM model's response using the playground. Once the model is ready, we will create, test, and deploy the prompt pro. After the deployment, of prompt root, we will receive the endpoint. We will also understand what is endpoint. Test the endpoint again using the Postman, and we will see how to pass the question to the endpoint to get the LLM response. It is important to understand to automate the endpoint. After that, we will create Copilot to automate the endpoint. You can also call it custom Copilot. At the end, at the end, we will integrate Copilot with our custom website and demo website. You can also integrate it with Teams Slack, but in this session we will not integrate with Teams because I don't have license for Teams and Slack. We will use only three periods for multiple reasons. First, I want to keep the development cost low since I'm not using the free version, I'm using a paid version. Second, I want to keep the development process simple so that you can easily understand the core concept. However, you can use as many PDFs as you like. The video and audio quality of this session may not be very polished because I'm a data scientist with limited knowledge of editing. If you have any suggestion or query, please let me know. I will try to resolve it. Please subscribe and like the video to show your appreciation if you find it helpful. I will make sure you learn a lot. Whether you are a beginner or expert, in both cases you will find the motivation to explore further after this session. Let's begin the development steps.
Open Azure portal, click on resource group icon to create resource group. Click on create, add the required details, choose your subscription if you have multiple subscription, provide a name for the resource group, select a region, then click next. Click on next again, review the details here and click on create. Now resource group is ready. You can open this resource group, click on this resource group. We will create all Azure services here.
Now we will create the Azure AI Studio service. Navigate to the resource group that we have created. Click on create. Search for Azure AI Studio and press enter. Click on the Azure AI Studio icon. Click on create. Choose the appropriate subscription from the drop down. Use the same resource group that we have created earlier. Select the desired region. Provide a unique name for the resource. The Azure AI service base model will be created automatically. We can also create new resource or we can select an existing resource from the drop down. This resource is required to access different LLMs in Azure AI Studio. A storage account will be created automatically. We can also create new storage account or select an existing storage account from the drop down. Select Microsoft Managed for simplicity, as Azure Key Vault is more complex than managed services. Leave the rest of the option as default. Go with the default system assigned identity. If you want, you can add tag. It is useful for billing purpose. Review the details and click on create. Wait for the resources to be created. This process may take some time. Some Once the resources is created, click on go to resource. We can also access Azure Studio from the resource group that we have created earlier. Navigate back to resource group. Now we can see Azure AI Studio, Azure AI Service, and a storage account is available. Azure AI Services will be used for accessing different LLM in Azure Studio. A storage account will be used to upload file for indexing. Click on Azure AI Studio and launch it. Now we can access Azure AI Studio, which is now known as Azure AI Foundry. Both Azure AI Foundry and Azure AI Studio both are the same thing. Click on Cancel. Click on Create Project. Provide your project name. Select the Azure AI Studio service you created from the dropdown. Click on Create. This may take some time. Once created, our project folder will be ready. Now you can see our project folder is ready.
Let's create an Azure AI search resource in the same resource group. Open the resource group and click create. In the search box, type Azure AI search service and then click on search. Click on the Azure AI search icon. Click on create. If you have multiple subscriptions, choose the appropriate subscription. The resource group will remain same as the one we have created earlier. Add a resource name. Select the desired region. Select pricing tier. Select standard. Sometimes free and basic are not available due to high demand. Click next. Choose the default option to avoid high charges. If you are building for an office, consider increasing the replicas and partitions. Click on next. Go with the default selection and click on review and create. Review the details and click on the button create. The resource creation process will begin and it might take a few minutes. Once the resource is created, click on go resource. Click on the index link. It is currently blank, but once we create an index, the index detail will be displayed here. Go back to the resource group that we created earlier. Click on the Azure AI Studio service. Launch Azure AI Studio. It will open a new tab. Click cancel on the pop-up window. Click on the rack project that we created earlier. Click on the model endpoint tab. Click on the drop down. Click on deploy piece model. First we will deploy the embedding model. So select text embedding EDA2. Click confirm. Click on deployment details. Here we can increase or decrease the token size. Click deploy. We can access the key and endpoints from this screen. Click the model deployment tab again. Repeat the same process. Search for GPT-35 Turbo 16K. Select it and click confirm. You can also select GPT-4 as well. Click on deployment details. You can set up the token size here. Click deploy. I selected these two models because they are easily available. Sometimes the latest models are only available in particular region.
We will upload these files in Azure AI Studio. I got these files from the Microsoft portal. I will share the documents link in the description, or you can use any PDF. Click on the Data Index tab. Click on New Data. Click on the drop down. Select the last option, Upload File and Folder. Click on the small drop down icon. Click on Upload File. Upload the files. Wait until the upload is complete, then click Next. Provide a new name for the data. Click Create. Now we can see the uploaded file here. These uploaded PDFs contain information related to hotels. We will create an index for these PDFs, and we will use these PDFs to develop a RAG application. We will name this application Doc Assistant. Click on Data Index tab. Click on Index tab. Click on New Index button. Click on drop down and select Data in Azure AI Studio. Select the data that we uploaded earlier. Click on Next. From the drop down, select the search service resource we created. If the search service is not available, select Connect another AI search resource. Here, the search service will appear. Click on Add Connection. If it is not available, recreate the search service as shown at the beginning of this recording. In my case, it is already available, so I will simply select it from the drop down. Provide a name for the index. Click on Next. Select the Azure OpenAI Connect from the drop down. Click on Next. Click on Create Vector Index. Indexing will happen in 3 steps and it will take some time. We have to wait. Now the index is ready. Sometimes it may take longer depending on the region, subscription and pricing tier. If you have selected the free pricing tier, it may take more time or you might encounter an error. Here we can see both the data and the index folder. Click on Playground. Select the model we deployed from the drop down. Click on Add Your Data and from the drop down select the index we created. Now we can try the playground. Type a question in the text box. For example, let's ask the question, where can I stay in New York? We got an answer, but it is not correct. I think we missed something. Let's check. We also need to select the search type from the drop down. Select hybrid. Now let's try again. This time we got the correct answer. These details are from the document we uploaded and used to create the index. We can also see the reference. Let's try another question. Where to stay in London? Before trying the next question, let's validate the answer we received. If you open the document, we can see that the information matches what is the in PDF. Now we are asking another question and we got the answer. Click on Prompt Flow tab, click on Create, make sure you are in Flow tab. There are sample flow available and we will use one sample to create our own prompt flow. Create clone of multi-round Q&A on your data. Click on clone. If you are getting the error, then need to assign the managed identity role. This error is related to permission. We have to enable the managed identity. A managed identity in Azure is a feature that allows Azure services to authenticate and interact with other Azure resources without needing to manage credentials manually. Let's go back to the resource group and open the Azure AI Studio. Click on Identity and click on, then Save. And enable System Managed Identity. Go back again in resource group and click on a storage account and open it. Click on Access Control. Click on Add and click on Add Role Assignment. Search role Storage Blob Reader. Select and click on Next. Select Managed Identity. Select Member. From the drop down, select all system assigned managed identity. Select the Azure AI Studio resource that you have created for this project. Click on Select. Click on Next. Click on Next again. Review once again and click on review and assign. We will try once again to create resource. Let's try creating prompt flow again. Repeat the same process again. Click on prompt flow tab. Click on create. Make sure you are in flow tab. There are sample flow available and we will use one sample to create our own prompt flow. Create clone of multi-round Q&A on your data. Click on clone. Provide name for click on clone. Now click on start compute session. Click on the input rectangular box. We don't need to do anything here. Click on modify query with history. Select connection from the drop down. Select model name. Select the response format type text. You can see this Python code that we will run in backend. Click on lookup rectangular box. Select index from the drop down. Make sure compute session is running. Select registered index. Select index ID from the drop down. Click on save. These index will be used as context and LLM will use this index to generate the answer. Select hybrid in query type. Now click on generate prompt context in the prompt flow. No need to do anything here. Click on prompt variant. Here we can change system prompt. System prompt define the behavior of LLM. But I am not going to make any changes here. Now click on chat with context. From the drop down select OpenAI connection. Select the deployment name from the drop down. Select response format text. Click on save. After saving the prompt flow, click on the chat icon in the top right corner. We will use this chat window to test our prompt. This is default question and answer. Let's ask a question and check whether it can generate an answer using our index that we created earlier. We will ask question, where can I stay in New York? Now we get answer and it is correct. It has generated the answer using the index that we have created. Let's deploy the prompt flow. Make sure computer session is running. Click on deploy. Provide the name for the endpoint or go with the default name. I will go with default name and settings. Click on next. Keep authentication type key based. Click on next. If you want, you can add tag or you can left it blank. Click on next. Click on review and create. Review the details and click on create. Click on the notification icon to see the deployment status. Once deployment done, click on model endpoint tab to check the endpoint. Now we can see now we can see here endpoint is available. Click on the endpoint that we have created. Here we can view the details of the endpoint, including the endpoint URL and API key. Click on the test tab. Let's ask the same question and review the response. This confirms that our solution is working and the deployment was successful. We can now integrate it with other applications. We will test the endpoint. You might ask, we have already tested the endpoint in Azure AI Foundry, so why are we testing again? This time we will see how to send a question to the solution we have created, which is available on the Azure platform, and how to receive the output from our solution. Once we understand this, we will be able to easily integrate our solution with other applications. Let's begin. Install Postman or use the web version of the Postman. This is the Postman. This application is already available in my system. Enter the URL that we have copied. Select Post from the drop-down. Click on Authorization. Select Bearer Token. Enter the API key here that we have copied. Click on Body. Click on Row. Select from the drop-down. Enter question in the form of JSON format. Click on Send. Now we can see that we got the response. This is the same response that we got in Azure Foundry. Open Azure AI Foundry. Click on Model Endpoint tab. Click on Get Endpoint. Copy the endpoint and API key. Open Copilot Studio using this link. Click on the Create button. Select New Agent. Click on Skip Configuration. Provide a name for the agent. Click on Create. Disable the default OpenAI integration so it won't use the default OpenAI model to answer to our question. Click on Topic. Click on Add Topic. Select from blank. Using this window, we can create a topic that will work as a conversational flow. To save time, I have already created an agent and topic. Let's review them. This is my agent custom Copilot track. Click on it to open. Let me show you the agent response. For example, if you ask the question, where can I stay in New York? The agent provide a response. Behind this topic, behind this topic, Power Automate and Endpoint are working together to get the response from our solution. Let's go through the each step. We will see how topic, Power Automate and Endpoint works together. If you click on the response on the Copilot testing window, it will directly open the topic. As you can see, I clicked on the response and it opened the topic. Topic can also be accessed from the topic tab where you can see custom and default topics. I have created a topic named RAG topic, so let's open it. Only enable the topic you create, disable the rest. Now let's review the topic steps, phrases. These are used to trigger the topic. Question. This step allows us to input our question. For example, when I asked where can I stay in New York, the question was saved in this variable user question. Action. The question is passed to this action which executes the Power Automate flow. This flow uses the endpoint we created to retrieve the response from our solution. Once once the response is received, it is it is passed to the next step to display the answer. These steps are repeated as needed. This is a brief explanation. For a detailed walkthrough, please refer to my other session where I explain each step in depth of Copilot Studio. I have mentioned how to create action, how to integrate the Copilot with the other channel, and how to publish it. So I have added each and everything, and it's a 30 minutes of the session. I'll include the link in this description below, or you can access it using the eye icon. Let's open this prompt flow. Click on it. It will redirect to the Power Automate flow window. Click on My Flow. These are the flow that I have created. Click on Edit to review each step. First, we pass the user question to the prompt flow. Next, we use Power Automate's built-in HTTP action to make an HTTP request. Click on the plus icon to add the HTTP action. Search for the HTTP action. In the HTTP action, add the URL and select Post from the drop-down. We are automating the endpoint the same way we did it manually with Postman. Add a bearer token for authentication. Pass the user question in JSON format. To add the question, click on the icon, select dynamic content and choose user question. Click on add, then click on plus icon. Again to add the parse JSON action. Search for the parse JSON action and select it. Add the JSON schema and insert Insert the HTTP response from the previous action. Click on icon, select dynamic content and choose body. Pass the parsation response into the final action. Click on the icon and from dynamic content select the parsation body output. This final action send the Power Automate response back to Copilot. Click on save and once done publish it. Go back to Copilot and refresh the action. The variable will store the This variable will store the Power Automate flow response. A message action will be used to display response. The last action is to create a loop. Finally, publish this Copilot, or you can also say Document Assistant. Now our Copilot is ready. Let's test the Copilot. Let's ask question, where can I stay in New York? Here we can see the response, and it is similar response that we were getting in Azure AI Foundry. It means we have successfully integrated the endpoint with the Copilot. Open the Copilot that we have created. Before publishing the Copilot, click on the setting. Click on security. Click on authentication. Make sure you selected no authentication and click on save. Click on channel. Click on demo website. Copy this link and open this link in new browser. Now we can ask the question and we are getting the correct result. We can validate the result with the PDF as well. Let's try another question. Where can we stay in the way? We can validate the result with the PDF as well. Now our Copilot is integrated with the demo website. We can integrate it with our website, Teams and Slack as well. Open Copilot that we have created. Click on channel. Click on custom website. Copy these codes. Open website source code. These are my code of my website. Copy paste code here. Then rerun the code. Now we can see website is open and you can see Copilot icon as well. I clicked on this icon. Now we can see I can access the Copilot here as well. Now we can ask question here. We ask the same question and we are getting the response. Congratulations, you created the generative AI based talk assistant and you successfully integrated the assistant with your own website as well. In a similar way, uh, process little bit different, but you can integrate with Teams and Slack and with other channel as well. Thank you.